changes.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the Rockstarflipper YouTube channel. It's December 14th, 2019. It's Saturday. It's a beautiful weekend here in Florida. And I'm going to a family Christmas party tonight. But before I go, I wanted to leave you guys with a little bit of advice and a little bit of, I guess, motivation or positive thinking that I heard this week from a ton of people, the opposite of negative. So a lot of people told me they were scared or didn't want to bother starting a new platform like a Poshmark or an Amazon or even selling on Instagram or making a YouTube channel because they knew that it wasn't going to make a bunch of money right away and it was going to take time and work, which a lot of people understand. It takes time and effort and nothing happens overnight. But that they didn't want to bother wasting their time on a platform that would make $500 or $300. If they couldn't make what they needed to make, then they wanted to focus all on one thing, and they didn't want to diversify or even bother putting in the time and effort on any platform for that matter, even their first one, if it wasn't going to make, let's say $5,000 or $6,000. Well, there's three talking points on that I want to address. Number one is nothing starts off overnight making that kind of money. Jeff Bezos didn't start Amazon and a year later made $265 billion. Amazon in its first couple of years, in fact, barely made in the couple million dollars. So it's taken them the better part of 25 years to build to where they are. My business, 8 years ago, when I moved into my first condo, I've been a reseller for 11, but full-time, probably 13 part-time, 11 full-time, and about 8 years seriously where I was on eBay and not just flipping locally. I probably made like $35,000, maybe $40,000 8 years ago. I know when I moved into my condo, my first one, it was all my bills were like $2,500 for the month, and I was like barely, making enough to have it, pay the bills, and had a couple hundred left over. So, yeah, I was making $35,000. Fast forward 8 years, and that's it took years and years to build up. So, what I want to tell people is, if you go on Instagram and you're posting all of your stuff, or you go on Poshmark and you're cross-posting, and you're only selling one item every other day, or one item a week, or a couple items a week, and it's at the end of the month it makes you $300 or $400. While yes, your time is important, $300 or $400, as long as you don't have another way or anything else to be doing, that's $3,000 or $4,000 this year. Now that can be a reinvestment into the business to make 8, to make 10. And my second point on this is reinvestment. You have to invest. Do not go buy an expensive car. Please do not go buy an expensive car. Please do not go on a $10,000 vacation. Please do not go buy your significant other a new Rolex because you all of a sudden made $500 or $1,000 this month, and in a couple of months you think that money should go away. Reinvest it, because next year you can make $8,000, go buy your Rolex, and still have $3,000 or $4,000 left over after buying a $5,000 or $6,000 or $8,000 Rolex or whatever it is. You guys kind of get the point. Step 2 is reinvestment. You have to put the money back in, or you're only going to make that much. I'm kind of to the point now in my business where I'm at that level where I've kind of plateaued, and I have to start thinking about some investments, some buying bigger things, putting out money for overhead, putting out money for possibly employees again, advertising. There's a ton of stuff that I have to start putting money into. And so, some of my frivolous spending is going to be put back into the business. The business makes quite a bit to sustain itself. And once you get to that point, you can break off some for yourself and break off some for reinvestment, but you have to put money back in. The third thing I want you guys to not do is be scared. Do not be scared of doing something because you're afraid you're only going to make a little bit of money. Every dollar counts. And when you're building a platform, it will build up. I have a huge following. So if I go out on a new platform, if tomorrow, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff went away and a new platform came out that was called Bazooka Social Media, and I all of a sudden had 50,000 followers and I put out something, yeah, I'm going to sell some stuff because I put the time in to build that. But when I had a couple thousand followers, I didn't sell anything to my followers. I didn't send anyone to my eBay store. You have to work on that and build up to it. But even if you just sell your customers one thing or two things, slowly over time, as long as you provide good customer service and your products are good, you will build that up, and all of a sudden you have a platform where now you're making a couple grand a month. So don't shy away from other platforms, and don't be scared of them simply because you aren't going to start off making the same money that somebody else might make. You know, you're not going to start off making $5,000 in your first month. You might make 50 bucks. You might make 200. I want to give you guys a final talking point as an example. Me and Keith from over at Flippin' Hippos have started selling wholesale lots. That's not all of our merchandise. Some of it is, but it's through other sellers. And we're providing a service where we can instantly sell lots, or quickly sell them as quick as we can. And we're collecting a 10% fee. It doesn't sound like much, and it's not. In our first month, you know, we didn't really make any money. We're paying for a website, we're paying for an email list, we're paying for a Shopify, we have all these expenses. But we know as word gets around, it builds up, then we could build something on it. And the fact that we probably only made $200 or $300 in the first month is no big deal to anybody. You know, even if we made $1,000 or $1,500, that's really, between two of us, not a lot of money. But it is something we have to build on. And so we both kind of knew, like, just leave the money in, leave the money in, leave the money in, and give it 6 months or a year. If you see that something hasn't grown after 4 or 5 or 6 months, then by all means, try to redo it, figure out something else. Invest money. If you're investing money and it's not returning you the money, or it's breaking even after 4 or 5 or 6 months, then, you know, maybe it's time to go a different avenue. But just don't be scared of going into something and allowing a few months to go by before you actually see some positive income. Really the best example of this is this YouTube channel that you're watching right now. Took 7, almost 8 months before I ever made one dime on this channel. And that first payment was $105. And that was after 8 months. When you break that up, that's like, I don't even know, what, 15 bucks a month or something? If that, 80 and 40, not even, like $14 or $13 a month over the first 8 months. So if I had given up on the YouTube channel because the first couple of payments were nothing, you guys wouldn't be watching this right now. So stick with what you're doing, keep plugging away at it, keep working at it. And if you need any help getting on other platforms, if you need help learning social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the links below will direct you to what you need, the social media package. You can get the alternate sourcing. Maybe you want to learn how to do wholesale or pallets or buy out garage sales or church sales. All those links are below, and I really encourage you to grab them before the end of the year, because I'm going to be changing everything up. All right, have a wonderful night. I'm gonna go enjoy some family time. I'll post some pictures and videos up on Instagram and Twitter. If you don't follow me over there, please do. It's at Rockstarflipper. Pretty easy. It's linked below as well. And go ahead and follow me, and I'll follow a bunch of you back. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, wonderful rest of your Saturday night, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Good night, everyone.